The mansion stood on the edge of the city, its marble floors gleaming, chandeliers glittering, and endless rooms filled with expensive furniture that only collected dust. Inside lived Adrian Cole, a man the world called successful. He was a self-made millionaire, admired for his sharp suits, luxury cars, and ruthless business sense. People envied him, but behind the locked gates, Adrian was a lonely man. His wife had left years ago, tired of his obsession with work. His children lived abroad, hardly calling. He filled the silence with numbers, meetings, and deals. Every morning, Maria arrived. She was his maid, quiet, polite, and efficient. She cleaned his home, prepared his meals, and often blended into the background. Adrian barely noticed her, though she had been working for him for nearly 5 years. She never complained, never asked for anything more than her modest salary, and always left exactly on time, as though she had another life waiting elsewhere. One Friday evening, after a long and exhausting day, Adrian returned home in a fall mood. He had just lost a major contract, and his ego was bruised. His expensive suit still carried the scent of the rain, and his phone wouldn't stop buzzing with problems. Maria was cleaning the living room when he walked in, throwing his keys onto the table with a sigh. "Mr. Cole, would you like dinner?" she asked softly. "Not hungry," he muttered, collapsing into the couch. His wallet slipped from his pocket, cards and receipts spilling onto the floor. Maria bent down to pick them up, placing everything neatly on the table. Among the pile, Adrian's platinum credit card shimmered. In his exhaustion, he pushed it toward her without thinking. "Here," he said flatly. "Take this. Buy yourself something nice for once. Clothes, jewelry, whatever you want. You deserve it. Just don't make me regret it." Maria froze, staring at the card as if it were a brick of gold. She hesitated, then nodded respectfully. "Thank you, Mr. Cole." She placed it carefully in her bag. The next day, Adrian woke up late and found Maria had not come in for work. It was the first time in years she had missed a shift. He frowned, annoyed at her sudden absence, but told himself she was probably shopping. He pictured her carrying expensive handbags, maybe walking into designer stores, and he smirked bitterly. That's what happens when you give people free rein, he thought. But Maria didn't come back on Monday, nor on Tuesday. By Wednesday, Adrian was pacing his house, checking his phone, and even calling her number, but it went straight to voicemail. For a man who prided himself on control, the silence felt unbearable. He called the bank to check his account, bracing himself for the worst. When the statement arrived, his eyes scanned down the list. There were no purchases at luxury boutiques, no fine jewelry, no designer shoes. Instead, the transactions confused him. Pharmacy bills, grocery stores, a payment to a children's clinic, school supplies, and a transfer to something called St. Anne's Orphanage. "What is this?" he whispered. His frustration turned into curiosity, then into a gnawing guilt. The next morning, Adrian drove to the address of the orphanage, listed on his statement. It was in one of the poorest parts of the city, far from his glass towers and business meetings. When he pulled up, the paint on the building was chipped, the playground rusted, and children played barefoot in the dirt. And there she was, Maria, standing in the middle of the yard, smiling as she handed out food and small backpacks filled with supplies. The children ran to her, clinging to her like she was family. Adrian's heart twisted as he watched her laugh, her face glowing with warmth he had never seen inside his mansion. He stepped out of his car slowly, his expensive shoes crunching the gravel. Maria turned, her smile fading into shock when she saw him. "Mr. Cole," she whispered. "I was going to return the card. I'm sorry, Adrian raised his hand, silencing her. His voice was heavy, almost breaking. "Tell me, what did you do?" Maria swallowed hard, then spoke. "I have been saving every little bit of my salary, but it was never enough. These children, they have no parents, no one to care for them. Some are sick, some go hungry every night. I thought, just this once, I could give them what they needed. Medicine, food, shoes, even a few toys. I never wanted anything for myself." Her eyes dropped, ashamed. "If you want me to leave your house, I understand." Adrian's chest tightened. For the first time in years, he felt something crack inside him. A dam of emptiness breaking. His life had been built on wealth. But here was a woman who had nothing, yet gave everything. He looked at the children, their laughter echoing in the air, and then back at Maria. His eyes filled with tears he didn't even try to hide. "No," he said hoarsely. "You won't leave. In fact," he paused, his voice trembling. "From now on, I want to help. Not just with money, with everything I have. These kids, they deserve more than I've ever given anyone." The children ran up to him, tugging at his suit, unafraid. One little girl looked up at him with wide eyes and said, "Are you Maria's friend?" For the first time in years, Adrian smiled. "Yes," he whispered. "Yes, I am." That day marked the beginning of a transformation. Adrian funded the orphanage, repaired its buildings, and set up scholarships for the children. But more importantly, he spent time there, reading stories, fixing bikes, learning their names. The mansion no longer felt like a prison, because his heart had found its way back to life. As for Maria, she never asked for anything in return. But Adrian gave her something priceless: his trust, his friendship, and eventually, his gratitude for teaching him what true wealth meant. Sometimes, kindness doesn't come from the rich or powerful. Sometimes, it comes from those who have nothing and give everything. And Adrian learned, in the most unexpected way, that money doesn't change the world. Love does. So if this story touched your heart, remember, kindness is contagious. Share it, live it, and let it change you. And if you'd like more stories like this, make sure to subscribe